welcome. Hunty, we got something for you today. We've got Mr. Marion Meadows, the one and only icon. This man is an icon, multi talented, and one of the originals from the Starship Orchestra. Imagine that. He's an artist, he's a musician that plays the beautiful saxophone, and this man takes pictures, loves nature, so many wonderful things about him, and his so many albums that he's done. So we are totally excited. Cannot wait. Get your tropical drink, get your pineapple, because he's out in Maui and we're going in live right now. So y'all come on in and join us. It's a lunchbox starts, twice as nice starts, soul traveler starts, but the secrets start. The behind the scenes secrets about Mr. Marion Jones. He's going to tell us all about it. Let me tell you, the sister chat is all that, and we about to start right now. The experience starts right now.
And now, a word from our proud sponsors. Weekend Radio Shropshire of the UK International Radio. Proud sponsors Sean Tonk of the UK England. Tri-City's finest King of the Oldies, Ali Hackett, the Prince of Lovely, and DJ Wells. The international radio station that makes you turn your radio up.
Hey girl,
Hello.
how you doing? I'm jamming to the music.
Wow, don't we be jamming? Because it feels like September, even though it is August.
It is.
Wow.
It's August, girl.
Already.
It's August already.
But honey, look at you in your little Maui outfit. Let me say.
Listen, I got on all the colors. I'm like, got a little purple, little blue, little gold, little red, little pink, little orange. What? You said tropical, girl, and you know how bad I want to be on the beach. I even got a tropical drink. I'm like, I'm already in Maui, at least in my mind.
What? Look, she sang the song. She just said lady. She said, in my mind.
You say it all starts in your mind, right?
Honey,
that's where we make things happen.
We hear it and we react. And it don't take long for us to get together.
Oh, no. No, not when it comes to vacation. That's what I love. And be like, that's why I'm a travel agent. Because I love to vacation.
Yes, nice to travel, go to different places, meet different people,
different cultures. Yes,
to the water. I did say get to the water, right?
Get to the water.
I mean,
we love the water.
Look, Chuck Brown said it. Deep, deep in the water.
Yeah, get me to the water. Just get me to the water. Come on, y'all. Get me to the water. You know, it is what it is. It is one beautiful thing. Girl, do you know how blessed we are?
Yes, we are very blessed. And I don't think we really took the moment and the time to realize how blessed we are.
I just got chills on my body because he said, do you know how blessed we are? And I felt that told to me. We don't even realize how blessed we are, because look at the joy that we have in the middle of, in the midst of.
In the
You
middle.
know what I mean? In the middle of it.
Kirk Franklin wrote a song. And the song he wrote, there's a blessing in the storm.
Girl.
Okay, let's put this disclaimer out here. That moan is mine. What had happened was hashtag WHHW. That is mine. The sleeping with the teddy bear. That is mine. Look, I understand you, my sister. We share some things, but some things is prioritized and is mine.
Oh, girlfriend, it's part of the English language. You can't have it all. Okay. You got to learn to share.
Okay, we're going to share. So I'm going to go with Hunty.
You know, that's my thing. Okay. What's up, Hunty? Yes, you know, that's what I do. And look, you know when something is definitely you, because people start to pick it up. You don't even realize how much you say it until people start to pick it up. You're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. One of my girlfriends, she was like, yes. I said, okay, where you get that from? She was like, you. But it works. It is what it is. I'm not claiming it. I'm like, it's part of the English language. That just happens to be my slang. You know, so WHHW, you know how long they've been out there. However,
no, everybody don't know what WHHW means. I did that thing, but that's all right. Because we all had a what had happened was moment. And thank God for every what had happened was moment, because had it not happened, where would some of us be?
Yes.
So, an excitement to that alone, I'm just excited and happy, because that's exactly what happened with our guest that's coming on today. I'm so excited because he even came here to Philly to see us, yo. And I'm gonna see him again in September, yo. And it's just so exciting. And they ain't gonna ready to be in Chicago. But look, we're gonna tell y'all more about who this is, because some of y'all like,
who they talking about? It's a surprise.
But I must recant what I said earlier.
What you said?
Earlier, I said it was twice as nice, but there ain't nothing twice about this man except twice him saying it. Because he's an artist, he's
multi-talented. Yes.
Even an inspirational speaker. He's a photographer. He's a friend. He's a motivator.
He's a motorcycle rider.
Yes, he's a biker. He's a wellness.
Man. It gets that be why he looks so good. Okay,
honey.
Wellness. Understand what you put in your body makes a difference. Understand that moving your body makes a difference. So you know when you have that iconic situation and you've gone through that longevity, life tells on you. You know what I mean? If you've lived your life right, you still look good, honey. Everything is still working. But when you don't live right, you like, hey, what's that? What had happened was things start to break down. So just looking at his beautiful skin, you can tell. I mean, you know what? You know, it might be the sun in Maui. I don't know. It might be the sun.
I don't know what's in that pineapple juice, y'all, but something's going on, because she's throwing all these flags on the field and she's ignoring every last one of them.
What I do?
I'm gonna let y'all know. We heard the flags. We heard them. And now, because y'all know that we streaming live streaming live on all multiple channels of YouTube and our .com. You know you can go back after this and hear exactly which flag you think.
Don't hold me to it. But yeah, hold me to it. Because I said it. Yes, I did. Whatever. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Whatever it was. I don't know what else.
You sure did.
I don't know what I said. What I say. I be talking. You know.
I'm just gonna let it fly past. I ain't even gonna bring it back. I'm gonna just like I'm in slow motion right there. You see me in slow motion,
baby.
So streaming live now. We are on all multiple channels. Yes, I'm moving slow. Leave me alone. That's because we got to show everything about this young man, and the systems are up. So we got to not hold you no further. We have to. We got to let them loose. Can we let them loose?
Bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out.
So finish telling everybody where they can find us so we can go and do so.
Yes, Hunty, we are streaming live right now on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel, TKBSDS Pride. Yes, go to our website and our .com, TKBSDSproductions.com. After the show, listen, you can go to our podcast, Music on Spotify. We on Spotify, y'all. Apple and iHeartRadio. Listen, we done stepped up our game. We on iHeartRadio. So do what you got to do. Tap in. I'm just going to tell you right now, you better tap in. Tap into the sister chat because we bringing it. We bringing it, and we have nothing but fun on our channel, and we have some amazing guests. So this starts. We're gonna bring it in. We bring it in. We bring it in. We bring it in, y'all. Come on. Tap in.
I can't with her right now, y'all. I just can't with her right now. I really can't. So I'm just going to bring her in. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, the one who has twice as nice, the one looks who's just as nice, the one who's going to give you with everything you've ever needed for tonight. I hope your dinner's ready because here comes Mr. Meadows.
Woo! Welcome, Mr. Meadows. Marion, how are you?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on. I've been looking forward to this, and I was going back and forth from Hawaii back to state, so we kept missing, but finally here we are.
Yes, finally, we got you. We got you now. We ain't letting you go. We going into the secrets. I know that's the title of one of your albums, but we going into the secrets. You're gonna tell us the good stuff, right? Give us some of the juicy.
Uncut, raw, right here.
Uncut and raw. But before we go any further, I just want to say welcome, and I have a message for you.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Norman Connors told me to relay to you his love, and he said you are family to him, and you guys go way back to 1979.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He said, I'm like, what? He said, yes. He's like, that's my family. Been 27 years. What? 20 years. Yeah, what? He don't look like it.
Well, he's actually Norman is I give him credit for being the person that actually made my career possible. I mean, he hired me.
Mine too.
I met him when I was at Berklee School of Music. He was playing with Pharoah Sanders at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Told me, he goes, I think he was already starting to do his collaborations of jazz and R&B. So that was like a precursor to his Betcha by Golly Wow and this is Your Starship and all that stuff. And so years later, I ran into Norman and did some writing with him. And then next thing I know, I was in his band, and I was just out of college, and I got a chance to join up just as he had Phyllis Hyman, Billy Paul, Michael Henderson, Gene Carn. So for a young musician, that was a blessing to be around those artists. And I owe a lot to Norman Connors. And he's been not only a mentor to me, but a great friend all these years. So yes, when they say, how'd your career start? I said, well, I was really kind of discovered by Norman Connors.
Mm. And I can attest to that. He is an absolute great mentor. He's poured a lot into me. He's the reason why I started recording. He's like, why aren't you recording? And I'm like, and he's like, we need to go in the studio like now. And he really does take his time, and he doesn't give out many compliments, but honey, when you get one, you did something right.
Well, and then during that time, I was up in New York. So if you came from New York, Philly, or Detroit or something like that, they didn't play around back in those days.
No.
You had to be bringing it. I mean, there was no faking it. It was no,
no fake it till you make it.
Cloning and all that stuff. I mean, it was all live. It was live music in those days. And there was really no faking the funk, so to speak, because if you were a singer, you were a real singer. If you were a saxophone player, you had to play the saxophone. And in cities like Philly and New York and Detroit, they'd run you off the stage.
Play.
They tell you to come back if you were young. But I was on the stage in New York when I was young, and they told me, young blood, you're not ready. Maybe, excuse me, that song, and you get up there half stepping, but that's how they made you strong.
Yeah.
They would tell you to, come back next week when you're ready, but that was the way we got, we became better players. They taught us, mentored us about how to have integrity, show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
You already have talent. Don't just depend on your talent. You have to have integrity. And those are the things that we learned in those days. And Norman Connors was one of those guys who had incredible talent. I mean, it's not every day that you discover a Phyllis Hyman,
Exactly.
And a Jean Carn, who was, let's face it, Jean Carn's, people who don't know Jean Carn need to go look up her music. And,
sure.
And then great writers who went on to become great artists like Michael Henderson, who wrote and played with Miles Davis when he was young. So like all these artists were, for me, it was like a dream come true. But like I said, there were a lot of great artists back in those days. And Norman Connors was one of those guys who kind of took jazz artists and R&B artists. And, we all listened to, we all heard the Miles Davis and the John Coltrane's and the Billie Holidays and the Ella Fitzgeralds. But, we took from all those things, but we also came up in the funk era too. So we had Confunction, Brass Construction, BT Express, Shaka Khan, Rufus. We had all that stuff. So our generation was starting to morph that music and put it all together. And Norman Connors, Dexter Wansel, Quincy Jones, those were the producers and the artists that were starting to make that gel and come together and make it happen. So I was just really fortunate, and as you are, to be a part of that.
Yes. And I feel like I'm his newest artist. No, his latest, at least, right? And yeah, I got a chance to talk to him today. So, but when he pours into you, sometimes he calls me and he just pours into me. And it's a beautiful thing to really have that, have that friendship. And he actually gave me a compliment to my face. I said, wait a minute, did you just say that to me? Because I usually hear it from somebody else that he said it to, never to me. But it was so cool because he said, I love your work ethic. He said, you definitely not lazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot coming from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was it like in the big bands because back then it was a lot of guys on the stage. It was so magnetic.
Yeah, well, not just Norman Connors, but if you were in a band with like Gladys Knight, or even if you were Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, even Madonna back in those days, everything was live. There was no tracking back then. So if you had two keyboard parts, you had two keyboards. If you had horns, you had horns. If it was the Stevie Wonder band, there were in Earth, Wind and Fire, you had all these horns, you had all these keyboards, you had guitars. So yes, bands were very large because they were reproducing that music they were doing on these albums. They weren't doing any tracks. There were no tracks back in those days. For anybody, I don't care who you were. If you were rock, if you were Led Zeppelin, or you were, I don't care who you were. It was all live music. So you had to be a musician. You had to know the music. You had to study. You had to know what you were playing. So it was all around an education for when you arrived at the bandstand. As you know, as we were growing up, all of us played in disco bands. You remember, you played in a disco band, you had like a Latin percussionist and maybe an Italian guy playing the guitar. You know what I mean? The bands were international. You remember? You have some sisters singing background. But an international band when you played in the disco bands, if you played Atlantic City back in the day, and it made us all realize how important it was that we were living in music at a time when we were already writing the chapter of how you can do it with society without prejudice. When you came through the door, we didn't care if you were a woman, if you were straight, gay, it didn't matter as long as you could play.
Right.
and we were the litmus test for that, and it's always been like that with music. Because back in the old days, when the black musicians couldn't play with the white musicians in certain clubs, the white musicians from like Paul Whiteman band would go up to Harlem, the Bix Beiderbecks, the Jack Teagardens, they would go up to Harlem and sit in because they were in admiration of all these incredible players. That never changed, even into our generation. So when guys like Norman Connors came along, and Quincy Jones and Dexter Wansel and those guys, when they came along and started to fuse these styles together, it was already inevitable that this was going to happen. Along the way, we brought a culture, and that culture showed us how you can do this without any kind of prejudice or any kind of preconception of what it's supposed to look like, because we didn't care what it looked like. It was like, it's what it sounded like.
Right.
And it's important for us to nurture that art and to make sure that we moved each other forward into what was going to happen next. And what was going to happen next was that you would keep your little butt at home and practice when you were young. I didn't play any sports.
I did. I played sports too.
No,
music and sports is my thing. But the music was transcending. It was really transitioning and transcending you, was transitioning you into what you're doing now. Because when did you start writing?
Well, I was already kind of a student of the idea of writing from being around listening to, in most of our households, you had a parent who listened to some older music, and usually that was some sort of jazz. It might be Ella Fitzgerald, or it might be Sarah Vaughan. My father was a big Sarah Vaughan fan. He was a Billie Holiday fan, Duke Ellington fan. And then, of course, my sister was, played all the pop music. So, you'd be listening to Duke Ellington over here, and then Ohio Players over here. I always called it. I was just, because I started on clarinet, and I said, here I was, just a little clarinet player standing in the hallway, jazzing to the left and funking to the right.
I love the clarinet. Well, I played in the orchestra. I love that.
Before you go any further, we have to acknowledge your family is up in the house. Now, that's a player. That man right there, oh my goodness, he played this gospel song that left me in the corner at the last. We were at the Jazz Fest in Delaware, to the point where we all was so full from him playing. He thought I said I needed some sleep, and Drew said, well, let's get some coffee for her. I said, oh no, I said, you're not letting them sleep. I didn't say I needed it. And he phenomenal. So Art is saying hello to you. And Art, I need you to come on the show too. Art, you got to tell your story too now. But yes, that's another one of your brothers in the house.
Perfect example, Art Sherrard. The first time I met Art Sherrard, one of the most giving, loving, and talented brothers I know. And he has always extended a welcome to come onto his turf down in, the D.C., Maryland, Baltimore area. And we have been friends from the first day that I met Art, and he has invited me multiple times to come and play with his band.
Oh,
on events. And see, this is exactly what I was saying. A lot of people think that we're competitive,
right?
That we compete against one another. It's just the opposite. There's so much love in our community. When we see each other, if I see Art, I don't go, hey, Art, how you doing? We hug. And all do that. I mean, how many people can say when they go to work, they hug their coworkers? The first Maybe more people should try that when you go to work. When you get to work, hug your coworker. I mean,
they probably recoil.
Weird concept in the business world, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not just because we're artists, it's because we're humans, and
that's
we truly love each other. And that's a perfect example of true love, because Art Sherrard is one of those people back in the day when we first started getting together. He just showed me so much love, and we've just our friendship is it will last until the day we both die. So I mean, that's just he's just one of those dudes, and he can play his butt off.
Yes, he can. Don't let him close his eyes. We be like, don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes.
You know what we do as saxophone players? We'll go do a record, and then we'll go like, dang. He just did his last record with Chris Big Dog Davis. He's a producer that we both work with, and he was doing some tracks. And he doesn't even know that I was sitting in Chris's studio. His record hadn't even come out yet, and I'm listening to, and I go, and I said, "Is that Art Sherrod?" He goes, "Yeah, that's Art." I go, "Give me that song." He said, "Art's gonna kill." He said, "Art's gonna kill both me and you." Too late.
And that's
those licks.
That's another good man right there. Chris Big Davis Dog. He is another big one. Like, no doubt. To see you guys and the love that you have and the way you all are connected, it's less to be seen as what we always have said before. You cannot say we can't do it. They've been doing it, but now you see it because everything is recorded and you can't miss it. And to see the love that y'all have and the way you shouting each other out is not what people lead to believe, that there is a battle between y'all. It's a battle of who can I get to love you longer or to hold you out, the battle of trying to reach you,
Right. Yeah.
But I just love to see the men. I love to see the men having that relationship. That does something. That really is something.
It's an unbreakable bond, and it is one now that we're now even taking a page out of the young people because we're starting to videotape ourselves together. Back in the day, guys like Miles Davis and John Coltrane, whatever they got together, they recorded. And then for some reason, we got into making records, and we didn't, it was like if you were a saxophone player, you didn't play on another saxophone player's records. Like, well, why not?
Right.
So we've now started to change that. So I called Najee on my last album. I said, we haven't recorded together. Why not? And so we're starting to change all that. And so actually Art and I are due for a recording together soon. I know you're.
Did we just hear it first?
Yeah, you heard it here first.
And
Najee, I'm still a saxophone.
And don't forget to record you running with it on your bike, okay?
As like, well, you can always have the soprano, alto, just do that harmony.
Art plays it all. Art plays all those horns.
Or better yet, when you do it, I'm going to be by the bike so I can see you running, and I'm going to record it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to record y'all too.
That's great.
So Rita Hall just came in the house. Hello, Rita.
Hey, Rita.
So yes, everyone, if you don't know, we just went straight in, and we are here in Maui, y'all, with Marion Meadows. And it just led to be seen that when you think you know an artist, and then you go, oh man, oh wow, really?
Right?
No, really? What? Like
really?
When I first came across Marion Meadows, I came across Marion Meadows a while back with Suede. You remember Suede?
Oh,
and Suede was on my playlist of the Moonlight. Everything was Suede for me. And then I found the rest of his music. And then recently, it wasn't even recently, I was playing Suede, and I think that was around the time when Twice as Nice did come out. And I was like, wait a minute. Is that no, that's not him. Is that Marion? But like you said, when you hear certain tunes, like you mentioned Najee, you can't miss Najee. You cannot miss Gerald Albright. Like you can't miss them. It's like they're almost like those voices that you hear in a choir. You're like, oh, I know what that voice is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't go nowhere and not know that wasn't Aretha, or you couldn't, or you didn't know that wasn't Shaka Khan, or you definitely knew that was Patty, especially if you saw a shoe fall.
Well,
and then,
no, it didn't fall, it flew.
Oh no, it fell. It fell right beside you, because when she threw it, it fell. And you was like,
he said, throw the other one. Throw the other one.
It's that signature sound. It's a signature sound that is amazing.
And for me, speaking of Philly, I was a student at Berkeley again, and Bobby Humphrey was playing. There were two clubs in Boston, the Jazz Workshop and Paul's Mall, which were right next to each other. They were owned by the same people. They were connected actually.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby Humphrey was playing at Paul's Mall, and I had gone to see Bobby. We met. She didn't know me prior to that, but she let me sit in. I sat in. As a matter of fact, I was playing tenor sax then.
Okay.
And then she says, look, I'm not really feeling well. She had like the flu or something. She goes, can you come back and play a couple of nights with me? And I go, yeah, sure. And then Grover was coming to town to play his show. So he had gotten to town a day earlier or so, and he heard me playing with Bobby. I didn't even know he was in the audience. But
Wow.
after the show, he came over to me. He invited me to lunch the next day. I showed up with my saxophone. I thought he was going to give me a lesson. He goes, man, I ain't going to give you no lesson. But he talked to me. This is what was so beautiful about that meeting. Grover Washington, I'm a college student, says to me, he says, young Meadows, you already have a sound. You need to stay in that lane. You don't need to play my licks anymore. He goes, but so if you stay in that lane and do what you're doing right now, at this moment, you're going to be okay. He goes, you already have a sound. And he goes, I hear it. I hear your sound already. Because I had played, some soprano with Bobby. And he goes, man, you got on that soprano, man, you got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sound. And so I listened to what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, it's not about how many notes you play, it's the quality of the notes you play.
Yes.
Are you telling a story? Are you painting a picture? And of course, we all know that Grover always painted a picture when he
Yes, he did.
took a solo. It started that you knew it. And like you said, you would immediately recognize Grover Washington's sound.
Right.
And that's what he was trying to convey to me, that if you understand what you're doing right now as a musician, there's tons of great saxophone players, but what's going to make you stand out and make you feel as though that you do stand out to yourself, that do you have a voice? And he goes, and I'm telling you right now, you have a voice. So he goes, nurture that. So I will, obviously I paid attention to that, and
it's paid off.
He became my true mentor. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Those are one of those names of history
Yes.
that you're just grateful to even say you was in the hallway.
Right.
Exactly.
I had the pleasure of meeting him when I used to work for I'm going back, y'all, going way, way back, y'all. Somebody wants to say, I know how old she is. I'm not ashamed to tell. But I was working for Wade Cablevision before Grader came and Comcast and Time Warner and all that. It was Wade. And I had the pleasure of meeting Wade, and he came to Wade Cablevision because we had a studio at the time, and that's when I was on studio channel 66. I was one of the hosts, and he came in and he talked to us. And what was so unique about him was when we opened up our mouths, he knew what we were, and we were working at a company. So when we were sitting here working at a cable company, he looked at one lady and he was like, you sing, don't you? And she said, well, yes. He said, what you doing here? Immediately, and then of course I was always the comedian in the room. He said, and you funny, you real funny, you need to make it to TV. We need to do more with you. And I was like, no, that's not my calling. He said, okay, maybe not today.
Nice.
And it was just something about Grover that did that. And I'm just so glad that you had the opportunity to be groomed under him. And it goes, and it's just a magical moment when you sit there and you think about everybody's footsteps you've walked with and side by side with. And then I look at you and see why, and which is going to lead me to where I'm going with this, because y'all always know I'm going somewhere. I had the opportunity to catch Mr. Marion Meadows outside of the CD. And I said, Louis Armstrong wrote a song that my grandmother introduced me to, and it was called What a Wonderful World. And I remember saying, Grandma, how is this world so wonderful? Look at it. Yeah. And she said, because you're looking at it incorrectly. Mm-hmm. You're looking at what's in the world. Look at the world.
Yeah.
And it took for me later on to get mature in that area to understand what perspective was she coming from. And she was saying, when you take the time and just look around at the world, you really see the world is really a beautiful place. And we know that because when we stop and look at where we go, we look out into nature, we see the water, we see the trees, and we go, oh. And when the lights come on at night and we're just driving past, we go, oh, the city is so beautiful until it wakes up.
Till the people wake up.
But then I seen Marion, and Marion took us on a trip. And he was bike riding. And I immediately became sensitive and began to just cry on my own. And I was like, he made nature look so beautiful just riding. I was like, wow. I thought he just played music and did that to me. You know, and it was like, he shows you the beauty, which explains the photographer in you, right?
Oh yeah, I was out last night. Here shooting. We have the most amazing view of the Milky Way from here on Maui.
Really?
And we have four observatories up on top of the Haleakala. That's up at 10,000 feet. I'm up a few thousand feet up. But I was actually down at the beach last night in the middle of the night shooting the Milky Way. And you couldn't even imagine what it looked like. It was just, it looked like a cloud. And it was, you could see all the colors, and with your naked eye, you could see the Milky Way, all the colors. But see, that's the thing about nature. That's the thing about the planet we do live on. And I was recently on a plane with a scientist from NASA. And she goes, until you get outside, like the astronauts, until you see it and see how fragile it really is, they see it when they go out into space and the space station and stuff. And she goes, and they can see it in real time, how fragile it is and how, catastrophic things are happening with the planet right now. Mm-hmm. It's very important that we understand that the synergy of what we're doing as human beings is we're still a very primitive animal on the planet. We haven't been around that long. So part of what we're doing right now is part of our propagation, is part of our survival. We're just trying to survive as a species. And sometimes because of our intellect, it morphs into a manipulation. And part of that manipulation is that we do sometimes things that are not kosher because we're just trying to survive. It's part of our mechanism. But then it's neutralized. And the thing that neutralizes us the most in modern times is music. Right. There's no agenda in music. It's not manipulative. Doesn't have any other agenda. It's just what you feel. And that's what nature always does for people. I don't care what you are. If you're a person who's a mean-spirited person, a depressed person, maybe you're like a racist or something. You just don't quite get it. You got some hate in your heart.
Right.
If you and I sat on the same hillside looking out at the beautiful scenery, a beautiful ocean, or whatever that scene would be, we would both have the same feeling that's beautiful. Mm-hmm. There would be no reason to hate or to have any kind of agenda other than the fact that look at this beauty that we're looking at right now. Music does that. It's why we as musicians, people go, oh, you're making money. No, well, we're blessed to be able to make a living doing this. But the most important part of what we do, and I'm sure all my colleagues will agree, is that when we see the reaction of our fans and our friends, when we play music and they tell us, just like you were saying, Shauna, it just soothes their soul. It does something for them. Mm-hmm. It lifted them up. It reminded them of their grandmother. Something, they played it for their children, so whatever that does for them, that is truly our agenda. And so nature is exactly the same thing. That's the reaction I get when I'm out on my bike. Sometimes I'm just out riding. I'm going, look how beautiful this is. So those are the things that inspire me. And those are the things that give me hope. That God has a plan for us, but that part of that plan is that this is beauty in all of its glory.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
always been there. So let's try to do our best so that when we wake up every day, that's what we get to share. Yeah. So a lot of people put on their music in the morning and they open up their, you open up your windows, open up your doors, and so this is all that crazy stuff that's going on. That's us just trying to figure out how to be human beings and figure that out, because sometimes it's not always pretty, but when you look out at that scene and I look out at that beautiful ocean or this beautiful mountain that I live on, that never changes. It's always there, you know. And you said something earlier about Kirk Franklin saying the beauty in the midst of a storm, you know.
Yes.
You know, it's part of who we are and what we are, and that's how important music has played that part. It's a part and continues to do so. During the pandemic, most people had on headphones because that music was what they needed. That was that safe place. That place they needed to go to. And
Absolutely.
it's a place that they knew that they could depend on, that you put on your favorite music, whatever that was, to take you that place where you needed to be at that
You
time.
said it. You said it. You said it. You really said it. Like you nailed every. If there was a fence we was building, you just build it. I'm just saying it because you hit every important message that we have been trying to say. A lot of people miss the fact of the visionary of a musician because that's where the message is, especially for us. Yes. Because the minute we feel that vibration, that beat, whatever it may be, our whole attitude changes.
Right.
Even for people who can't dance, they want to move some type of way. It creates a movement.
Yes.
And like you said, we were in a point where we didn't even know how to move or where to move. But we knew how to put them in our ears and knew that was going to take us away to say, okay, at least it's a help me to take another step where I'm scared to take another step.
I had a gentleman say to me, I was in Colorado and I was up in Copper Mountain, and it was a gentleman. He was a really big black guy, you know, who I saw him with his wife, and they were walking around, and I kind of sensed they wanted to say hello. Sometimes people want to approach you and they think that, you know, and we're always so approachable. People don't just say hello to us. You know, we don't bite, but we go. That's part of what we do as well. We like to interact with the people. And so I just went over and introduced myself, and they go, well, we're actually here to see you play. And I said, well, that's really cool. And then later on that same day, I saw him by himself, and he goes, Mr. Meadows, can I talk to you for a second? And I go, yeah. He says, I just want to tell you something. He said, this might be a little heavy, but I have to get, since you're here in person. He goes, I was wrongly convicted of a crime, and I was on death row.
Wow.
For many years, he said. He goes, it was because of your music that I did not kill myself.
Shut up. Shut up.
And I said, dude, I can't even handle that. I don't even know what to do with this. I don't even know what to, I start crying. I hugged him. And I go, are you serious? He goes, it was because of you that I committed suicide, because I know I had committed this crime and they were going to kill me. And he goes, I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of executing me for something I didn't do. And then the DNA exonerated him. He got off death row and got out of prison. But I said,
there is an absolute message in the music. There is a spirit in the music that is so, so godlike. And sometimes we don't know where it comes from. You know, you just created what was in you. You know what I mean? You created what was in you to create. And the fact that it had that huge an impact on someone. I mean, we would love it to have an impact, but that impact is so sweet and so humbling, you know, and
yeah, it really was. I'm used to people saying, I had my kids on your music.
Yeah, right? Right? Or baby number my marriage. Like, dude, you're the reason why I got my wife, you know?
Because if she didn't marry me, she was going to marry you. So she married me.
Oh, wow. But to hear somebody say it.
My kid's named after you. It doesn't matter if it's a girl or a boy.
Right. You do have that unisex name.
My favorite aunt name is Marion, y'all. My aunt name is Marion Frazier. So that
there you go.
So look, he
those
was
are
the
three
wedding guy. He was the engagement guy. He was the
Yeah,
honeymoon night guy. You was in
yeah,
everybody's bedroom.
right. Shoot.
So I'm gonna ask you a very difficult question.
Sure.
It may not be difficult, but I know every artist gets to this point. Maybe. Have you been to the point where you wanted to stop and somebody said that to you and that made you keep going?
Well, no, I haven't come to that place yet where I wanted to stop playing music. I'm kind of arriving at that place where I want to be more of an educator because I have been blessed to have such a long career and I do continue to play. It's not as important to me to do every little gig, so to speak, except for my fans. But there are a lot of other things, me being as eclectic as I am, there are a lot of other things that I would like to do while I'm still on the planet. And one of those things is to be an educator because I feel as though we need to start having a concerted effort across the board as
Yes.
musicians and as human beings. And especially here in the United States, they go, what's your biggest commodity? Well, our biggest commodity is our culture. Where did that culture come from? It came from slaves who started singing in these minor blues notes that brought music to a place that it had never existed before. So the music that we play today is the music that was created by the slaves in Congo Square. That a lot we don't know about Congo Square. We don't know about what happened in New Orleans. We don't know about Jim Crow bringing the Creole musicians out of the orchestras. Freddie Keppert, Bunk Johnson, Buddy Bolden, King Oliver, Jelly Roll Morton, Bessie Smith. If our kids don't know about that, then what the heck are we talking about?
Right.
It's our biggest commodity of America is our culture. That started right here, including the for the country music artists, the Celtic influences. They came from Ireland. They brought the Celt, the violin that came and all that picking that came
Right.
Yeah.
Irish influences. How come our children don't know that when we were young, we knew who Duke Ellington was?
That's right.
We knew who Picasso was. We did in our generation. How is it that we knew who Beethoven was? We might not even known Beethoven's music, but we knew the name. You ask our children today, Beethoven, Picasso, they go, who? I've never heard. Duke Ellington, forget about it.
They'll say Beethoven with the dog. They're gonna say, "Oh, the dog!" Like,
yeah, that's the dog.
No,
yeah, that's the dog.
Not the dog.
But it is important that we start to champion that. If America is going to ever be a semblance of what the experiment was trying to be, it's not just going to be because we counteract voting suppression. We have to. What's going to make this country a real what? So what's the identity of what America really is? America is just an experiment. When you talk to people around the world, from China and from Europe and stuff, countries that have been around for thousands of years, it's like, dude, we've been down this road before, historically speaking. You're a country that's been around a few hundred years. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's a great experiment, but the experiment is going off the tracks now.
Yeah, way off.
But part of that problem is that we do not have an identity to our culture.
Right.
If we started to pay attention to our culture and bringing our children, this is what should make you proud to be an American, is that we had these artists, that these people, not just the artists, but people who created this country based on things that were grand and spectacular. And a part of that was the music that was laid down. And then when we go back and I start talking about people like, Louis Armstrong and Kid Oliver and, Kid, all these incredible musicians, Sidney Bechet. Do kids know anything about Sidney Bechet? Do they know about that Sidney Bechet was a Creole artist whose father was a dentist, and his brother was a dentist. This is like there's so much history that we're missing, that our children are missing. Yeah. So that when I do lecture them, I I'll take whatever their favorite music is. If it's Drake, and if it's it doesn't matter. Whoever their favorite artist is right now, be it hip hop or R&B, and I let them know this is who they were influenced by.
Right.
This is who Drake learned his music from, or at least was influenced by. I'm not going to say that they didn't have their own personal identity and contribution creatively, but we all got something from somebody.
Right.
When I got into Norman Connor's band, there was a great saxophone player, Buzzy Jones. I borrowed from him. Buzzy Jones borrowed from John Coltrane. We all listened to Charlie Parker. We all listened to Miles Davis. We all listened to, you're a singer. You listen to Ella Fitzgerald. You listen to Shaka Khan and Aretha Franklin. Of course you did. How could you not be influenced by these artists? They're a part of the American cultural experience that we have all benefited from. So
absolutely.
We need to be. So I think, I'm going to start moving. I do have a class that I've created on the university level, but I like to see this, eventually filter into the high schools.
Yes. Yes. We need to pour into our children way earlier. And I love that, because that's something that I would always say to Norman too. You guys did so much, but there's a point when you need to pass that down, when you need to pass that information down, when you need to let the next generation know. And I'm so happy to hear you say that, that you want to be not the mentee, but now the mentor, and then really take a group of students under your wing, because there are a lot of kids out here that are doing the darn thing, that are very, very musical. One of the schools that I go to, these kids were amazing. They were like from 5 to 14. And, when I asked them what they wanted to do, they weren't just, okay, I want to be a drummer, I want to be a guitar player. They wanted to be producers. They wanted to write, so it was so great to see at that level, what they were. And then I just took them all and taught them Me and My Teddy Bear song. And you know what I mean? We played beats and we sang. And that love that happened in that room, I will carry with me forever. You know what I mean? And then when I was leaving, I was like, can I get a hug? And when they bum rushed me for the hug, that was a moment, and so we don't realize sometimes that we're holding back on stuff. Somebody poured something into you. Right. It's time for you now to do the pouring, and don't leave this earth without doing that.
And there's no shortcut, as we wwere talking about Art Sherrod earlier, and he too is, I'm sure he mentors, his kids that look up to him. Mm-hmm. But you see, if you're going to be a saxophone player, and like last night, I got a call, I got a text message out of the blue from Kirk Whalum, and it was
my favorite. Wait a minute, what's going to feel?
Out of the blue. If you go online and look up Marion Meadows Vintage Jazz Sundays, Kirk Whalum is on one of my first episodes, and we're talking about Sidney Bechet and the soprano saxophone.
I'm done. Glad on the field. That's it. What?
But this goes to show you that these guys, how much we love each other. Because out of the blue, Kirk Whalum, out of his day, he's heard some song that he has on his podcast. On his phone. And then this is how simple the message was. It was a song that I had recorded with Will Downing. And I guess he hadn't heard the song before. It was on one of my albums. He sent me a message with a picture of the song on YouTube. And he just wrote, dude.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, Kurt.
He's like, dude, what's up? He was like, dude, are you serious?
Are you serious?
You see, that's the kind of thing. What I'm saying right now is that you want to get to the place where your colleagues, a colleague like a giant, like a Kirk Whalum, would send you a text message to validate what you're doing in your life. Right. Now, you didn't do that because you were at home being lazy. It's because I started playing the clarinet at 8 years old. I learned how to play scales. I learned how to read music. I had a teacher. I stayed at home. I practiced. I got in all the all-county bands. I got to high school. I started playing saxophone. I went to music school. I kept studying. I kept studying. I kept studying. I kept studying. I got a record deal. I did records, and records that I was proud of, and works of art that influenced my colleagues. And then I got a text message from one of the most amazing colleagues in my lifetime, from Kirk Whalen.
Look at God. Won't he do it?
I did the work
yes.
to be able to validate it by my peer.
Yes.
That's the point. There's no shortcut.
There's no shortcut.
Say it again.
There's no shortcut.
You can get on the computer, and yes, you can do beats. I'm not knocking any kid, but at some point, if you want to be a musician, you got to study music.
You got to study
beyond the beat.
And look, it's plain and simple. But I want y'all to know, y'all heard me say it was a flag on the field, right? We're going to be right back, because I'm going to discuss that, because he gave me 2, and I'm a heck of a detective. And I missed that. I missed 2 of those flags. We'll be right back, y'all. We got to go to a quick commercial.
I'll be right back.
We'll be right back. You, Marion. Ooh.
Yeah. Look,
just
he did that. It wasn't me this time.
I feel like busting loose. I said, Shala, come on. Y'all said, I said, Shala, get it. Y'all said, I said, Shala, come on. Y'all said, I said, Shala, hit it. Y'all said, give me the big time.
Yes, new music, new everything is on the way. So stay tuned. We are on it. We are on today with Marion Meadows. And like I said, I call myself the best detective in the whole wide world, but I missed some of those clues. And he hit 2. I said 2. He said Kirk Whalen. And y'all all know Kirk Whalen puts me to sleep. I put that song on that says, wonderful, some say is wonderful. Wonderful it is. And I'll be like this. And you know who else he said? He said Silver Tongue himself.
Will Downing.
Oh my God. You know I want to fall out, right? I'm glad I was sitting down, y'all. I'm just glad I was sitting down, y'all. I'm just going to say I'm glad I was sitting down, y'all.
Yes, he did. Hunty, that's what he said.
I didn't even know he did something with Downey. And I didn't even know he did it with Kirk Franklin. And I've been following Marion Meadows for years, not knowing Marion Meadows. Y'all know, we hear music, we don't know what their name is. We just jam to it. Yes. And I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. See, my life was made up of music, especially when it was no music, because we had to do that at home. That's how mom took care of us.
From the cradle, girl, they was playing that music from the cradle. Look, before the cradle,
what they had to do, and we still what we did with the music. But yeah, now that he's back, I'm gonna let him know what that flag was. You know what that flag was, right?
No. What?
All right, y'all. So all of y'all who are new to the sister chat, y'all already know that whenever you hear flag on the field, that means that they done said something that we didn't know about and that they didn't tell us.
Oh.
So the situation is this. He said 2. Now, mind you, he threw 2 flags. I'm just glad I was sitting down. I'm just glad I was sitting down. Because the flag was on the field. Now, I knew Marion played with a lot of people. And I also just recently found out that I knew he was an artist, but I didn't know he was the artist. Like, he does the whole thing. And we're going to get into that too. But I did not know that he was with my favorite people. Well, all of them are my favorite people. But the one that puts me to sleep, and he plays that Some Say Is Wonderful.
KW.
And that Kirk Whalen.
KW.
And when him and Doc, did you hear when Kirk and Doc did that little gospel tantrum?
Oh,
but then he had a nerve to say, Silver Tongue himself, Will Downing. I think that's probably one of the reasons why Will won't come on my show. Because I done already sent him through everybody he know. I even contacted his wife's favorite friend and said, look, I promise not to call you Silver Tongue no more if you come on the show.
I'll call him right now.
Oh,
Call him. Call him.
so let me find out. This is how only way I can get Will. Oh, now watch. I'm gonna be like,
it's all about the connections. Call him. He said, "I'm gonna call him right now."
But wait,
Shut the front door.
He's saying he really gonna call him right now.
He calling him right now. You see him looking at the phone. You see that phone light on his face.
Look, while he's calling Will, I'm going to play the song, my favorite song by Marion Meadows, while he's calling Will. Or should I wait? I think we're gonna wait.
No, the phone is ringing.
We're gonna see if he gonna pick up. Let's see if he pick up.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Probably gonna sing. He didn't pick up yet. He's coming. Let me see.
You know what's probably happening? He's probably watching. I'm like, no, I ain't picking up.
Leave your name and number, but here upon my telephone. And I'll promise that I'll call you back as soon as I get home. As soon as I get home. Leave a message.
You know what?
At the tone, please record your message. When
I'm done.
You may hang up or for more options.
Will Downing. It's
Will Downing.
I'm on the show with the sisters.
They
said if you don't come on their show, they personally coming to get you.
We're coming.
I'm gonna holler back at you. They said they need you on the show. So they said if you don't come on their show, they're personally gonna hunt you down. So I'm holler back at you, and we're gonna get you on the show. Love you, brother. Bye.
The two Scorpios gonna hunt you down.
He's coming now. You better believe it.
There you go.
That's how we do it.
Look at God. Won't he do it?
Ashley Scott, I thought you was my boy, but now moving you to the side. It's Marion Meadows.
My jaw's hurt from smiling so hard. That's so good. That is so good.
Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
You talk about your cheeks. My cheeks is because did you hear the message of
yes?
I'll call you back as soon as I get home.
Auntie. And you know what? I thought that was so cool. I used to do that. And I haven't done that in years when I would just leave a message and it would be singing. You know what? I'm going back to that.
No, you're not. Leave Will Downing alone. Leave Will Downing alone. And for all of you who missed it, it's your fault, but you can get it. Because remember, we are on all our YouTube stations are up, and you can catch us on all of them if you're following the No BS Duo Show, if you're following TKBSBS Pride, not Proudful, but Pride. If you even follow on the Sister Chat YouTube page, you will have it here. And if you come on and we're not here, you may remember you can go to our .com. It's always open 24/7. Or you can just put us in your ear pods when you're walking, doing your exercising or driving. So I want you to have your hands on the wheel. Find us on all musical platforms, because when we tell you we want you to literally be able to follow these artists and love up on an artist who loved up enough on you to create these musical lullabies, we really mean it. So not only download, but stream them and keep them on repeat. And you will hear songs like this. I have to play my favorite song.
Play it.
Hey, man, let's find out. Hold on. Because, you know, there's a lot of Marion Meadows songs. I'm just saying there's a lot of them. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of them. Honey, girls, a lot of them. So let's go ahead. Let's turn it up. Let's go ahead and set this little baby bass up. All right. We done set the guitar. It's tuned up. Here we go. This is Sway, y'all.
Mm. Yes!
Now, over all of that, I heard yes. So, what did I miss? Let me guess. I see the
Yeah.
phone up. So let me calm down.
You didn't mess with anything. I was just
Did you
playing
just-
with you.
Did you know what?
He got that fair. He
Hey,
got
listen.
look.
Hey,
I know you
listen.
got a name for your girl that you
It's
got in
now-
your mouth. I'm like,
it's
what's
now
your
the
name? What's your
sister-
name for your
sister
girl?
show. It's now the sister show and that dude.
Oh my gosh. She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
I'm enjoying being on the show with you guys. This is
And we
wonderful.
are too. I love
thank
having
you.
it
A lot of
with
fun.
you.
You know,
But you
it's
know-
funny because during the pandemic, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but during this pandemic, I've come to realize that in a weird, strange way, it's made us all even closer.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
We've kind of all come together. We found a way of circumventing around what's kept us from being able to be together during that time.
Mhm.
And with the beauty of technology does do good things sometimes. And
Yeah, we didn't have to fly 12 hours.
and yeah, exactly. But I just, in the middle of the show, I just want to say, thank you for having me on. This is a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Oh,
I'm
thank
just
you.
glad you was able to make it because your schedule is like, whoo. I was like, look, dude, I work with you. You tell me whatever
Oh
it
no,
is.
you really did. You really did.
We'll make it happen. You just keep doing what you doing, and we got you. Don't worry.
That was a beast.
So now, wait a minute. How about I'm mad now because I have the CD Soul City, and I did not notice you was on there with Will Downing was on that CD.
Yeah, that was the song that Kirk sent me a text about. It was Samba La Playa. And
Yes.
that was a Chris Big Dog production. And, Will and I have done some really interesting songs over the years. And before Will really broke out, we actually did a version of Janet Jackson. If you want to go back and find it, it's Come Back to Me. And it was on one of my early albums before Will even kind of broke out big time. And it was produced by Bob Baldwin.
Bob Baldwin, like Bob Baldwin, that's Are You Ready, Bob Baldwin? That's the Bob Baldwin you talk about, right?
Bob Baldwin, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Have you had Bob on yet? Have you had him on yet, Bob?
I did not have Bob, but I did send him a message and he's supposed to be getting back with me because I've been playing his Cool Blowing CD.
Okay, cool.
Is it Cool Blowing? I think it's Cool Blowing.
Oh,
That
Cool
one right there is really, really, you guys look, let me tell you, the worst thing they could have done was shut you guys down. That was the worst they could have done. Because when they did that, y'all came out to laugh like, really? Really?
Mhm.
And it showed you guys.
We did. We were working. I recorded with Bob. I recorded with Brian Bromberg. I recorded with Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
I recorded with Willie Bradley.
Bradley?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh yeah, I did so many albums. Mark Antoine. I did oh God, I did so many records during the break. I mean, just on and on and on and on. I even built a new studio in Nashville so that I could start doing all these new recordings just in time to do all this stuff. We did a lot of great collaborations during that time, and just to name, Yeah, I mean,
That was so
Jeff Bradshaw
smart.
played trombone. You know, your Philly Jeff Bradshaw.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
He played on Soul City as well. He played on Soul City. I had.
Wait a minute. Now I
okay.
usually know all of his songs. You mean to tell me he got one with you too?
He's on a song called "You." He plays a trombone solo on the end, and it features my bass player, Will
Gaines.
Yes, out of Cleveland.
Now, see, that's why I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, but this is what we were talking about earlier, the beauty of what we're doing now.
Yes.
Collaborations, humanity moving forward. It's, you know, it's one of the things that's going to really define us, I think, going forward, is that we find ways that are beautiful ways that we share. And let me just tell you something that most people probably don't even know. A lot of us, like if it's Najee or me or, you know, Kirk or whatever, when we call each other on the phone and go, you know, will you come and record on my album? And, you know, I might get in trouble for saying this, but you know what? We never talk about money ever. We just send a track. And some of us might
That's the best.
People came and recorded on my album and he just said, send some money to my charity. That's all. I mean, I said, people, I don't have that Beauty and the Beast money.
And you know, he was just in Philly too. He was just here last week.
And guess who's on that same album? Peebo Bryson.
I'm done with Soul City because you know the only thing I took Consequences was mine. I love Consequences.
Oh yeah. Woo.
That's the one I love from Soul City, Consequences. So that goes to show you guys, sometimes you got to go beyond your favorite and really go through the discography. Like take the moment and binge. Like seriously, because you'll be surprised what you'll find out.
If you go pull up that Time After Time, that's me and Peebo and an orchestra from Atlanta. It's a young you know, black students from Atlanta playing on an orchestra, and we got Jay Fly. He did all the all the arranging for the song.
Wow,
beautiful collaboration, and Peebo singing the lead. So it's fantastic. It really
Look, guys, I'm just gonna give y'all a tiny peek because Time After Time is right before my favorite, Consequences. So it's like right here. So I'm like looking down on it, like I ain't see this. So I'm gonna play just a peek of that, y'all. Y'all ready? Nice. Again, y'all, we're on with Marion Meadows, and we're just having a good old time in Maui. And if y'all don't know already, y'all really need to find out. And I keep telling y'all, he told y'all it was going to be twice as nice. But little did y'all know, twice had a couple of zeros behind it. That's all I'm saying. So here we go with Time After Time.
Lying in my bed, I hear a clock tick, and I think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion, just nothing new. Flashbacks, one night, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Time after sometimes you picture me, but I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, but I can't hear a word you say. Oh, slow, I fall behind. and the second hand of the world. You know, and you will find me, you will find me time after time. Oh, look at you, I will be waiting time after time.
You know what? I can't even I can't even finish listening to that without getting emotional
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, you all know when Lovely plays over at Cosmos Radio and on Sundays for Jazzy Afternoon with Lovely, and she played that segment that she do when she says it's about the covers and it's not talking about the sheets, but you're gonna want to hold somebody after you're done with them. This is one of those songs because when you play the music, you know the words, but you have that instrumentalist. And because he's here, I'm telling them this only because not because he's here. And y'all know I say this even when they're not here. When you play out your soul, it just hit different. And then you hear those main words. When you look and you lost and you will find me. It's like when the smoke clears, I'm going to be still right here, time after time. It's going to be timeless. I don't know. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if it's raining, smoking, hot. I'm going to be here. And it hits different.
Well, it says a lot. It does. I mean, it alludes to things that we go through in life, and especially in relationships. Relationships can be really hard for a lot of reasons. There's so many different variables. You know, my grandmother had said back in our day, you know, a woman would probably not even ever really leave her town. You know, you were going to marry somebody, you know, from the little town that you came from. You don't travel like you do today. You kids today, she goes, you travel all over the world, you know. And one thing about relationships is that, you know, in all the trials and tribulations, you try to get to a place where you're going to be able to, you know, forgive and prop up and be able to be there for people. And you know, especially for us musicians, we're traveling all over the world, and sometimes we're not there. We might be not there for a birthday, but then you have those people that said, no matter what you do, however you're going to be, and either it's the musicians that's doing the traveling, or the person waiting at home for them, or the child that's depending on their parent, you know, to be able to say to yourself at the end of the day, and you were there for your family or your friends, I'm still here for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in those time after time.
As corny as that might sound, even in those tough times, and that's when you realize that, you know, your own self-worth. I hung in there because that person was worth being there for, you know.
Yeah.
No matter if they were doing some stuff that, you know, that was intolerable, but you know what? I just gotta help get through this, because that's the thing that makes us who we really are.
Yeah,
it is.
And that's the thing I've learned in life. I've certainly not been perfect, but I've really learned that at this point in my life, it's important that I'm there for the people who depend on me, that I try to be able to get back to them. You know, this is why I'm here in Maui, because my daughter grew up here in Maui. I've always had a place here, but I couldn't always be here all the time.
Right.
So I said, now that at this point, my daughter is, you know, she's almost 30 years old now. And she says, Dad, I just appreciate that you have always made an effort to be here for me, you know. And so when I was able to finally get here to Hawaii, because the pandemic kind of shut it all down, I said, I'm going to come spend all of my spring and summer with you, and we're going to be the best of the two of us that we can be. You know, I only have one child, and she's it. And she said to me the other day, you know, she says, Dad, this has just been the best time that you've been here for the summer. We have our little sushi Sundays where we get together and have our sushi, and we talk about real life, because she's an adult now, and we talk about real stuff. And for me, it's the most blessed thing I had done, you know, for her, is to be here for her. This, even though she's a grown woman, she just appreciates that, and that's what that song is about. It's like, you know, you certainly know those people who were there for you and propped you up when you needed somebody to prop you up, and so that reciprocates and makes you want to do the same thing. And those are little simple stuff that you do for, you know, you'll do that for colleagues and people that you work with, and then you won't do that for your family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's the little things in life that makes the most difference.
Right.
It's the little things.
Anyway, I think we all know what that message is all about. But I just wanted to say that because shout out to my daughter, who's an awesome human being, and
I know she's a beautiful girl. I want to know
That's
one
a
thing.
daddy's girl, y'all. That's a daddy's girl right there.
Yeah,
What is
we're
it with the
traveling
sun
now.
over there?
We were going to go to the Olympics. We're right here in Hawaii, so this is a 5-hour flight from here.
Wow.
And it's $250 to get to Japan from here. That's all it was. When not anymore because the prices are going up.
Yeah,
So
right.
we were going to go to the Olympics. I was going to surprise her, and my daughter speaks fluent Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah, she started taking Japanese in 5th grade here in Hawaii. She's not Japanese, but she speaks fluent Japanese. And I was going to treat her to finally go to Japan and use her Japanese and go to the Olympics. And they said can't go to the Olympics. So I don't know what's up with that.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. Things is changing again. Yeah. And it's but just before we go about talk about the change again, I want to applaud you because sometimes the biggest thing is when you turn 18, you're no longer the mom and kid. Mm-hmm. It's like that shuts off. Okay, I'm grown now. I don't need you. But for you to say your daughter is grown and she still needs daddy love, like I said, I don't care that people know my age. I am be 50 in less than 50 more days. Yeah, you mean? And I'm excited about that because who knew we were going to make it this long, this far, and like this, But the point I'm making is, and I still need my daddy.
Yes, and I love the date night. The date night is
my dad is not. My dad is not dad. That's not my father. That's my daddy, and that's my mommy. I still call them those names, and to see that you still have that. That daddy and daughter day, and that does something, and it's great to see it because it lets people know that we do become adults and we go away from home, but our relationship never stops. We still have that mommy daddy or that daddy sister thing or that daddy daughter day. I love daddy daughter days, and I love to see daddies that love their children.
Well, her mother and I never got married. And, we had a child, and she called me one day and says, we were dating, and she says, I got pregnant. And she goes, I really do want to have a child. And I said, well, let's do it. Let's have this child. And my daughter's turning 27 tomorrow.
Happy early birthday to her.
Tonight is her birthday dinner. And
all right.
She says to me one day, she said, Dad, I just want to say that the thing that I'm most proud about being, the daughter of you and my mom is that I have never heard you guys have an argument. Her mother and I have never had an argument in 27 years of having a child, ever, never, about anything. I'm blessed that she was the mom of my daughter, and I'm blessed that I had this beautiful child. So, it just goes to show you that it's that kind of love, that unconditional love like that. And that my child has even though, she didn't have me in her household full time all the time. And I said, does that bother? She goes, because you were always here for me. You got a place in Hawaii when I was a little girl. I always, you were always there for me. And I mean, I was there for when she was born and, all through her life. But she says, no, but that's not the most important thing. The fact that you and my mom have never had an argument is just, to me, I can't even imagine. I my friends, the parent. I go, well, maybe that's because we don't.
We didn't get married.
I'm a creature of the night. I'll be up all night recording. They're like, go to bed, damn it.
What is that with musicians and we're all night owls? What is that?
I don't know.
Like I get my best work. We're like the millionaire hour is 3 a.m.
Yeah, because somebody's got to do it.
Yay, why not us, right?
Somebody's got to occupy that space. It's
yes.
Space.
From while y'all making the music. While y'all making the music, I'm making the cups of coffee. All right, y'all, let's go. Here the coffee. There you go.
Keep it going.
All right, we virtually putting in a mug and we sending it to Maui. You're gonna hit the button. You should get it in 20 minutes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
You know, it is amazing because, like you said, we don't see this, and that's why I love so much about platforms like this, because you're saying something that people fail to believe. You have an entertainer,
Mm-hmm.
Marion Meadows,
in our room.
but
Look.
no, but listen, this I'm going somewhere with this. He
Where you
is a
going?
musician
Yes,
that
he is.
travels, and not only that, his child is out of state, but yet you're still there for your child. Y'all
Mhm.
never fought, so people can't never say it can't be done
Right.
because you did it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
Nobody can never say, well, it can't happen. Well, it did.
Yeah.
Right. And you know they always
And no
talking
one-
bad about musicians.
And no one can say that an entertainer does not care about their kids or not there for their kids. You can't say it because guess what?
right.
You can't put them all in a box because they're not. There's
No.
some of them that understand. And the thing about it is you only know what you see, but that's what I love about this here. You cannot get it twisted because you heard it straight. He said it, you heard it.
Straight
So
from
when
the
next
heart.
time somebody tells you that the wife, or better yet, I'm sorry, let me fix this. The next time you say you have to be married with a child in order for it to go right, look, when it happens, you still can make it right because you said the most important thing. It wasn't about you and her. It was about what y'all
About the
made.
baby. Yep.
Yeah. And her mother's such an awesome person that she even knew then, I don't want it tainted, you know, with a relationship that I think that I might not be comfortable with, you know, whatever her reasons might be. I knew she was an awesome person. Obviously, that came to fruition. And when she had this child, we were blessed because that was the product of that union was this beautiful child who I'm so proud of. You know, I got an interesting fact about my daughter. My daughter never missed a day of school in her life.
See that?
Ever.
Wow.
From kindergarten to the day she graduated high school. And the military came after. They wanted to know, you know, we look for these kids who have never missed a day from kindergarten to graduation because they know there were days when they were sick that they still went to school.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
And I would even say to my daughter, okay, come on, why don't you play hooky one day and hang out with dad? She go, oh, dad, no, that's not acceptable. I don't
Go ahead, Mama Tita. I hear you.
She said that's not acceptable.
Whose kid are you?
Who are you?
Are you an alien or something? Oh, come on. Everybody plays one day of hooky. Come on.
I love it.
She like,
But I'm glad you said that because I was trying. So that explains a lot because the same thing happened to my son. Because
Really?
my son never missed a day of school. Look, I was a mom. I didn't play that. My kids went to school.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you go to school. And if you that sick, they'll call me and tell me to come back and get you. But you getting out of here today.
Yeah, right.
And then I would tell them, don't let the school call me because if the school called me, we're going to have a problem. So they really was like, all right, we in school, but she said call. But then she said they better not call me. So what we better do? But the military kept going after my kid. And I was like, look, I had to even get on the phone, like, stop calling my son.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, the Navy came after my daughter. They wanted to interview her in Annapolis for, you know, to be on this special program. They said, we want these kinds of kids. But speaking of moms back in the day.
Go on, what you gonna say?
Flag on the field. Flag on the field for moms back in the day.
Before my mother passed away, she said, listen, if they had the mothers like us nowadays, they would have no problems in the schools.
None.
We whooped your little butts.
Yes, we did.
She goes, we jacked you up.
Don't let me tag you. Don't let me tag you.
If the police came to your house, we jacked you up in front of them.
Yes, we did. And then we told the cops, you're going to bring them back in 20 minutes because you ain't going to want to keep them in the car with you.
Right. You don't need to come over here unless I call you. I got this. You
don't come for me unless I call you.
I will jack his little ass up out here. But I said to my mom, I said, Mom, I said, Mom, what was ADHD in our day? She goes, we call that an ass whooping.
That's right. We needed attention.
She goes,
And you know what?
You might have woke up with ADHD, but by the time you got on the bus, it was gone.
I gotta make
They
you
go,
laugh.
look, I'm gonna beat it out of you.
Look, I
Where
gotta
you
make
going?
you laugh. You ain't lying. I gotta make you laugh. We went to the eye doctors, and my oldest son, he was having an attention moment, and I gave him a look, and I went back to get my eyes examined. And so the guy, I said, you have to excuse my son. They tried to say he got ADHD. So the doctor, he wasn't even one of us. And that's why it made me laugh so hard. He said, oh, I understand. They write it up and say ADHD. We call it, they need a beating with the belt. But I seen you saw the eye and he knew it was belt time. So I know it. I looked at him like, what you know about that? You know?
Yeah. No. Our mothers were like, that doesn't even exist.
No.
Right. They want to
you go get your
diagnose
screen.
everything. No.
And I'm not downplaying on the clinical
Right.
level.
I mean, there is
I'm
out
not
there.
downplaying the kids that really do have a problem. But I'm just saying when we were faking that that attention deficit,
Yeah.
that was corrected by your mother going,
That's right. She gave you the eye.
I got you.
Or she gave you that, or that face was like this, and all of a sudden the face changed. You know, or
She
that
started
point.
talking through her
That's a
teeth.
look. That's a look. And then when you were a kid, your mother gave you that look. You said, "Oh no."
Yes,
You
yes,
know you was
yes.
about to get in trouble. And she started talking through them teeth. Didn't I tell you? I told you.
Let me go find my Tonka truck.
But I'm mad at you because I'm known for my hats, whether it's a baseball cap or a regular hat. But when you start talking about the mother and you switch that hat to the back, if any of my sons would come down these steps right there, they would say, oh, when mom changed the hat, that was business. And if we was doing something, she changed the hat, it was like, look, you pissing me off, be great.
It's about to go down.
And when you did that,
Y'all making me cry. Y'all making me cry.
My whole get up, my whole outfit today was supposed to have been the jeans, the hat, and my yellow sneakers. That's what I was supposed to came today. But I was like, no, he from Maui. What'd he do? He came in here with the baseball cap. I should have worn my baseball cap.
Hey, we're in Hawaii. Over here in Maui, hey, listen, we do flip-flops and shit.
Y'all don't even put no clothes on. Listen, be like, change it to the next bathing suit.
You be sitting at the bar. You be sitting at the bar here in Maui with your flip-flops and shorts on, and you be sitting next to like a total like billionaire or something. We don't. Everybody here is the same. That's what I love about it.
And we love it too.
We want to show them gun violence over here. We don't none of that crazy stuff going over here. At least here in Maui. So I'm so blessed to be in a place where it's so beautiful like that, and the children can have a place where they're really safe here. That's why I love them about my daughter being able to grow up here. We don't have children being abducted and shot, and we don't have any of that going on. It's not because it's rich people or anything like that. That's not what I'm.
Let me warn you.
We got people who care,
right?
And they're like, I just don't need to go out and I just don't need to carry a gun around with me. I'm not
right,
saying
right.
I'm not. This is not a political platform. What I'm saying is that they just don't need to carry a gun and pull out a gun. So guess what? Never happens. Nobody's shooting anybody. So
be careful how loud you say that, because remember I told you I'm gonna see you in September. You may go and unzip your suitcase, and I'm like, hey, I'm here.
I want to know what's so special about that sun in Hawaii that just glistens the skin. It's like no matter what. No matter what your shade of color,
look at them teasing y'all. Look
beautiful tone.
Look at them teasing us, y'all. See, look how you look at them teasing us, y'all.
Are you showing us the muscle or the skin tone?
No. See, that's why it's now.
I think he's showing us both.
That's why it's sister and that dude now. That's the new show right there.
Sister.
And that dude.
I'm telling you, y'all.
Listen, you are Eminem for sure.
We have to show you this clip, so we have to let you see why Mr. Maui. That's his new name from now on, Mr. Maui.
Eminem.
Listen, when we see you in person, and you hear somebody go, Mr. Maui, you know that's me. Say, Shauna's in this house. Say, where's Shauna at? She out.
And then be like, what? There's Shauna. Where the other sister? Where the other sister? Up, here she go. There's
And
Starlene.
we get around. Don't listen. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. We walked up on Frank McCone. He was like, wait a minute, did you drive down here? We were like, yes, we did. Yes, we did. We drove to your concert because that's what we do. We have love for our artists. And I'm glad this is the realism that we like people to understand and people to see. It takes work, it takes dedication and loyalty.
It
And yes,
does.
there is some hard times in the midst of it, but they find a way to understand that life still exists and they live through it. So that's why it's so important to understand the dedication and life that goes in with being an entertainer because it's not easy.
No, it's not.
No.
So let me show you how Mr. Marion here shows us how easy it is after we come back from this quick break. We be right back. Yeah. The sisters and him.
That one. Over there.
Yeah, over there. Amen. Him. We be right back, y'all.
If you want to create a drop, release your new song with a pop, do you need an exciting intro for your video? Promote your business, products, or shows? Contact us for customized digital video packages. For more details, email us at tkbsds.org@gmail.com.
He has so much fun. Did y'all hear him going?
No, he looks serious, okay? Like he really on a marathon or something. He got all his gear on, he ready.
Yes, he was like, wee. Oh, I loved it. When I see him on the bike, I was like, wow. But I'm gonna pull up the one that he did where he had the music.
Yeah, that was the one from Tennessee, and then there's one from Maui when I'm on Oprah's Road, down by Oprah's house. So
she let you ride on her road?
Oh, it's not. That's not a private road. It's real. This Oprah can walk down to the coffee shop. She doesn't need a bodyguard. I mean, it's just beautiful that she has a place where she can do that, and it's really beautiful. Where she built a couple of homes up in there, and a lot of people some people don't even know she lives down there, but it's way up high, looking down in the ocean, and I shot a video down over there last month.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that one now for them. We're gonna play that one right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. Right.
Let me turn it up so we can hear it. Can you guys hear it?
I can't hear it.
No. All right, wait a minute. Let me bring it back up. Hold on. Because I can hear it on my side, but not our side. So let me bring it back up.
It's coming up. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me go back and grab it. I think I'm grabbing the right one. I hope I'm grabbing the right one.
Are the pineapples good there?
That's it. That's the one. That's the one. I'm
looking for more pineapples.
No, that was the one from Tennessee. Let me go back. Is it the one from no?
No, you had it. You had it right. You had the right one.
But it wasn't no music, right?
Yeah, it was there. It had just started playing when you. It doesn't come in until after the video starts.
Got you. All right, let me go back and grab it. Uh-huh. That's what you gotta love about the technical part of it. That's the fun part. All right, let's go grab it. So you were saying about the pineapples. Yes, are the pineapples good?
I'm having pineapples right now, thinking about the ones in Maui.
Oh, there, you just passed it. You just passed it. There it is.
Isn't this one it?
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
This is today's ride. Going down to where Oprah lives down here on her road. We call it Thompson Road. This is at the end of this road. Is Oprah has a few homes here on Maui. Beautiful.
So that was the beautiful trip that we get to see following Marion Meadows.
That's too much.
And
Eminem.
So you see why I'm like captivated, because I'm like, wow, like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So yeah, I'll be the one that they'll find in security in the suitcase area. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going to Maui. Where's your ticket? In the suitcase.
Well, the good thing is you still in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be folded. Look, I'm gonna be
People said,
folded in there. I'm
people
like,
said, I
look,
need a passport.
just put the
I
straw.
know most people do.
Just put the straw through the zipper part.
But
So you
listen,
can breathe.
listen. I've just had a ball doing this today with you guys. This has been awesome. Really, just been
Yes,
Yay.
and you
I'm
are the best.
excited.
So listen, guys, he's going to come back and see us because he is twice as nice. Like we said, it's not just the musician, but he's the artist. Like I'm like who looks at Kayla Waters and say, sit right there, I'm going to take a picture of you. Nobody but Marion Meadows does that. And he's one of them cool cats that you're glad that you met, and I'm so glad
Yes.
that we got the opportunity to meet you today as well. But we know we can't hold you because here on the Sister Act, time goes like that when we having so much fun.
We've been having too
And
much fun.
but we're definitely going to come back because you're going to be in the States soon.
Yes, I'm coming back stateside, and I know we're going to be getting together, and I'd love to come back on the show whenever you want me. And I'll make sure Will Downing is here and Bob Baldwin.
Yeah.
And yeah. But
Don't you see that?
guys, for me, this is what I was talking about earlier, how important these conversations for us. And a lot of times we speak about our own community of color, but this transcends all of that because these conversations are important for, I think, the survival of the future of our children. The fact that we're now having these conversations that we don't particularly care for voter suppression and stupid stuff like that, and the fact that we talked about the reintroduction of culture to our kids, so that it's a normal thing, not something that some of our kids, there's, and Shauna, you were saying, and Star, you were saying how there are all these incredibly talented kids. There's always been talented children. It's just, what do we do with them now? And how do we give them a path to something that's more than just being talented? What's going to come next? Where are you going to be in 20 years? Where will you be in 30 years? Is that something that your talent is going to bring you to? Or is the talent going to be, a catalyst to something? Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a professional artist even. That's not even what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's just those lessons in life and those things that we're able to do to mentor the next generation and set a better example. Because my daughter says, Dad, a lot of your generation is kind of like in denial of what you used to talk about when you were younger. All of the things that you said you were going to do, and you guys didn't do it. Now it's like you're naysayers and deniers and stuff in your generation. So we need to let them know that it's going to be their platform now. And so these are the things that do work. And that's what age and wisdom will give you. And these are the things that don't work.
Right.
And so you can see this right in real time that this doesn't work. This works.
Right.
So having said that, thank you so much for what you're doing, and please have me back. And I just had a ball.
Look, you ain't gotta even. You got the keys. We already sent you the keys. You just gotta tell us when to create the experience.
Here's the keys. Come on in.
Because everybody know here on the Sister Chat, we sit on the platform called the No BS Duo Show. And with the No BS Duo Show, we give you the 411, the real truth about the arts and entertainment straight from the entertainer. So we're here from Sunday to Sunday. You need us to open up the door and say, look, we need to come in and talk. Like, all right, just tell me when, and we'll make it happen for sure. But we're actually happy that the pleasure is ours to have you bless our platform.
Well, thank you.
Because you gave us something to think about, because you've already said it, we've said it, so now we got to be about it. We know that is the music and the arts that really made us who we are. And we don't know how and why it did. But I believe once we know why, we're going to want to do more and find out how to continue it. This is where it starts. It starts right here.
Because it helps to cultivate us, the music helps to cultivate us. We know how important education is. We want to keep the music in our schools. We want to do more volunteer efforts to make sure that we're raising funds for the schools. There are a lot of charter schools. My girlfriend started as a founder of a charter school. So it's like pouring into that. So now that's someplace great for me to go and pour into. So I absolutely applaud you for just being you. That's wonderful. And then your sense of duty for the next generation is really admirable. Your talent speaks for itself, but you're down home is all that. I'm like, okay, you're down home. I'm like, yes. I'm like, we got to go out for drinks. We got to go have some fun. So it is absolutely a pleasure to have you on board. It's a pleasure for you to be here with us. Thank you for as my girlfriend says, a dose of growth. Thank you for that. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all of your amazing music. We're going to go play some more music and be like, wait, what happened was.
Oh, see, they're going to flag on the field. It was coming. It was coming.
Well, I want to shout out. I want to shout out to my all the great musicians from Philadelphia, and my keyboardist Will Brock, who's from Philadelphia.
Hey,
the great Gerald Beasley, great saxophonist Chris Farr, and so many others that if I didn't mention you, you're my friend. I just want to shout out to the incredible musicians that I've known from
Donald
Philly.
Robinson.
And you, Donald Robinson, all the cats and kitties who keep it real.
100, yes.
And so, listen, thank you for having me, and I'll see you again.
Yes, we will, for sure.
Thank you so much.
So thanks again. We love you. Know that we do. We have a deep love in our hearts for you. And again, thank you for showing the world what really exists and not what they think exists.
Because the love is deeper now.
Yeah.
It was a love for you, but it's deeper now.
Lord, listen, y'all. We just gonna go here and let you know this is to get more information about Marion Meadows. You can go there and find everything about him. And like he said, he's coming back again. And you do know we're in Maui, so we're in a different time. I'm gonna shoot this for y'all real quick so y'all can get an opportunity to understand what the Twice as Nice looks like. Now, that picture right there. He did that picture. And that is the beautiful Kayla Waters. And if that name sounds familiar, that's because that's Kim Waters' daughter.
Kim Waters' very talented daughter, yeah.
Yes, and she got this CD out now called Open Portals. Yeah. I'm just saying. So listen, guys.
Didn't fall far from that tree, did it?
Okay. So we're going to let Marion go, y'all, because we know what time frames and our time frames. Yes. So thank you. Mwah. I will see you soon. You let me know when you want to come back on. Maybe we can hit you up before AC.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll holler.
Okay.
And let everybody know where you're going to be at right now. We're the next 2 stops.
Okay. I'm going to Portland for the Vanport Jazz Festival. And that's in Portland, Oregon. That's on Saturday. And for the Chicago O'Hare Jazz Festival hosted by Jonathan Butler on Sunday. And hopefully if it's in a city near you, come on over. Come hang out with us.
Well, there you have it. Portland and Chicago. Go see my boy Marion, y'all. Absolutely. Don't make me come and find y'all.
Okay.
All right, my Chicago family.
September 11th, he's in Atlantic City in our area. September 11th, right?
That's right. September 11th, Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Bring your silver dollars.
The silver dollars?
I'm going to let Marion.
I'll meet you at the crap table.
You know what? Bye, Marion. Bye, Marion. Bye, Marion.
Bye, babe. Thank you so much.
You got to love yourself some him.
For real, girl. He is
you
so
got
down.
To love yourself some him.
Love
and and the mere fact that he's in Maui with the time change, when an artist lives in a time changing area, that means so much more to me. Yes. Because they're taking time out of their time to come and be with us on our time. And that means so much. That means so much.
Really,
so
really
we have
does.
A special place in our heart for Marion Meadows.
I'm like, girl, it's real special. Okay.
Yes.
Real special. He's really a cool cat.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
'Cause
So
he had
since
to
he
get
didn't
up
wasn't here
early,
to hear
okay?
it, since he wasn't here to hear it, y'all know I got to play my song, right?
Play it. Because I like that. I love that lunchbox. That lunchbox is good.
Yes. He's so bad.
So bad he's good.
Amen. Did it go back? All right, here we go. We're gonna try it again. You ready?
Push the button.
Yeah, I'm gonna push the button. I'm pushing you button now.
Push the button. So good, so good.
This one is called Soul City.
Girl, it's all about that shoulder, right?
Say it again.
All about
Yeah,
that shoulder.
yeah. Listen. So this is the song that he was trying to tell us about with Will Downing.
Oh yeah.
It could feel so right with your arms embracing me so tight. We became part of the moonlight. Feels here, calling me home to me. Tell me that you belong to me.
Woo!
The rhythm is calling me, haunting me, calling me, telling me the rhythm is.
That's you getting that shoulder in there, huh? Yes, darling. You know we be a trip.
Look, I'm just saying, when you have talent like that
and cultivated by such amazing people, such amazing mentors that poured into him from a teenager to have that
Listen.
kind of talent as an 8-year-old.
Right.
Like you already knew what you were going to do,
You knew.
and that's a beautiful thing, and to be able to cultivate that through life. I think it just makes you just such a well-rounded person.
It does.
Because being on teams makes you a better person. You know what I mean? Where you're not living life and everything is just about, you. You were on a team, you were in a orchestra, you were in a band. It has to be a cohesive situation, just like playing basketball. You know what I mean? You all got to be on the same page. So to take that and then to cultivate it into this just amazing mega, it was all going to evolve no matter what. It was just his evolution. But
it was
the well-rounded man
yes.
that came out of that evolution is really, really exciting. And I just feel so good about the interview, like but getting to know him.
But you know what makes it even more exciting? Because they want and understand that this is the time for the teacher in them to come out. Because
and that's what now, I've been saying for a while.
And not only is it time for the teacher to come out, but we need to get behind our artists and tell their story too. Yes. Because our story has been hidden. And that's what I love about a jazzy afternoon with Lovely. Really, that's why I love the whole lovely flavor that she got going on. I really love it because that was music that was hidden. That was music, like he said. I don't know where they got the idea that we only want to hear the 18 to 24 means that that's the only music that they listen to, or that's the only music worth listening to. But no, see, they hid our music and they put it under the one category that we don't like to go under. Which, doesn't that sound familiar? I'm going to connect the dot with something.
Yeah.
Because they put information at a location in a category that we won't go in. A lot of times we don't get the information that we need because we don't like to read. So they put everything in a book. Then they put it in cartoons because they say we ain't children no more. What we doing looking at cartoons?
I like cartoons.
Yeah, but guess what? Majority of the real adult meanings are in cartoons if you sit there long enough and watch it. But see, adults have ADHD when it comes to cartoons.
And you know what?
Especially musicals. But wait a minute, before you go there.
Oh, go ahead.
But wait, before you go there, let me give you the third point. They put it in jazz where we called it elevator music. And you know, we can't stand
the evolution of, yes.
But then if you go into the jazz section, what will you find? The neo soul, smooth jazz, and where will you find the names that he listed off? The Gerald Albrights, the Najis, Marion Meadows, Kim Waters, Norman Brown, the neo soul, the Jill Scotts.
Mm-hmm. They even created
the Avery Sunshine.
That neo soul is a new name.
The Avery Sunshines, the Frank McCombs, the Jeff Brashaws, our own. Mm-hmm. And then it goes even further. It goes back into history with the Earl Fitzgeralds and the Louis Armstrongs and the Coltrane. I live and sit by Coltrane. These people played and created music.
Real music. And that was the flag on the field.
Business. Put them in boxes.
Yep. They flag on the field when he said how they took them out of the orchestra. Yep. How they plucked us out of the orchestra to make it eclectically just white and take our flavor out. How they took them out. I was like, wow, that was deep. That's what I'm saying. The amount of knowledge in that brain, the eclecticness of it, dealing with not just the, the jazz, but the funk and the R&B and the soul and the, going all the way back to just classical music and how we know about classical music, but they're not playing that. And the relationship to, you know what I mean? Knowing who Bach is and all of that. but they made it so that everything with them is in a box. How we stuck in this box right now and we're not together. It's like that's how they live their lives, in a box. But we create everything, you know. And so he said that other flag on the field was his saying, we don't need nobody else. He said we can live our lifetimes just interviewing each other.
Right here. Right here. And guess what? We may be in boxes, but we're letting you know it's more to this box than what you see.
Hello.
Because everything is being unpacked.
It's unpacked because the pandemic.
It's not hiding no more. It's out.
It's out.
So anything you wanted to know is out there.
It's out the box.
So what you thought?
They put us in a box. You don't understand. We out the box. We out the box. We out the box. Wait. And the funny part is, I'm doing hip hop and you doing jazz. We out the box. We out the box. That's that eclectic music.
And you know, so normally we would have said right about now, we would have said this is when we have our inspirational moments. But what I believe is that this whole moment was just an inspirational moment. And it should have been an inspirational moment to uplift you and cause you to do what my pastor told us to do. Y'all knew I was going to mention my pastor. James Moore Sr., Second Mount Zion, West Philly.
Well, he
would say
he done made it to the show. He was late today.
Yes, he did. Because he said, unwrap your gift. Unwrap your gift. And that's what they have done. They have unwrapped their gift and to let you hear it. But now they want to tell you the story about it. So if you have a gift that has a story, tell it.
Yes.
You never know who needs to hear it. Because we all need to be educated about it.
Yes.
We all had the misconception of what they told us. Well,
and the other thing is when he's talked about just that collaboration, the phone calls that was made that they didn't even talk about money. Let's just go in and put it down. Let's just go in and put it down. You know what I mean? It's not you waiting over here. Well, how much you going to make? Like all of that. It's all about the music. That's when you know it's all about the heart and all about the music. And we can't wait to see the outcome. And they know it's going to be a great outcome just putting it out. So it's like we don't need to pay each other right now because we know what the outcome is going to be on the back end. So I'm like, wow, that's so cool to understand that's how they do it.
And do know
look, that's how we do it. Let me just put myself in the category with you. That's how we do it.
Well, yeah, because you never know. Sometimes financially, you saying you're giving to someone, but you end up giving it to them later financially in a different type of way.
Yes. And a lot of times it comes in a better way because you gave of yourself.
You gave up yourself.
When you give of yourself, you reap so many more benefits.
But did you hear that unconditional love? Did you hear that unconditional love? That's what he got me.
Yes.
Because people don't realize that unconditional love does exist, where we say, I know who you are and I know what you got to do. Go be great and do what you got to do. I'll be here when you get back.
Listen, that sister is all that. You know, he's like, I knew she was a good person, but she gets big kudos from me because she knew. I'm like, I need you to just be you.
Because she knew that she could not be what he needed her to be for him.
And he would not.
But she didn't block it. But she didn't block it. Listen, I need y'all to understand that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't love people enough to let them go, to know that it's so much more.
Don't clip their wings. Do not clip their wings.
Don't clip their wings.
Bird needs to fly.
If you know they're no good for you, you know you can't do them no good. You know you can't give them what they need. And you know you can't love them the way they need you to love them. Let them go. Let them go. That love would be even more.
Yes.
It's nothing like that.
The love becomes the love of a lifetime.
And here comes my next one. Don't have selfish love. If you love somebody that much, love them through everything they need you to be.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that's not what you need to be, love them enough to tell them I can't do that and let them go. Let them go.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this, I'm going to be there for you, 100, whatever you need me to be. But if I know that I'm going to cause you to not be who you need to be, that I'm being a disservice to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it will only be fair for me to let you go be who you need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't understand why people feel the need to stop and block. Stop, block, drop, and then roll. And it's like you're going to stop somebody, then you're going to block them, then you're going to do all of that, and then roll on them in the end anyway. Why didn't you just keep going? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand that.
It's called self. It's called self. A lot of times we forget that it's not just about us. And being in a relationship, whether they're an entertainer or whether they're a regular everyday Joe, you got to understand that you're in it with someone else.
Yes.
And I've said it many a times. I can only be what you tell me is good for you to be. I can't say, well, I did this for you, not knowing what for you will be.
Yeah.
How do I? You never told me that's what you wanted. I said it.
Yes. And it's like, come on now. Be like, I can't do you if you don't even know who you are.
That's a whole nother segment.
Girl,
it's time for us to go. We are full.
It is.
We are full. We are full.
My heart is full, darling.
So we're going to leave you with the inspirational moment that Meadows gave us, not recognizing that he gave it to us.
He did.
And this is what we would like to leave you with. Be this type of person, knowing that, as a matter of fact, this is ours. Can I say ours, Boo?
Yes.
This is ours. This is our tribute to you. And this is how we feel about you. Yes. Okay? Because if you look and you're lost, you need us, we're going to be here for you. And we're going to be here time after time.
And time again, time after time. Every Wednesday, same time, same bad channel. Sister Chat is doing all that. Girl, doing all that. That is a lot. You know, I mean, I feel good every time we, rap, but Sister Chat is doing all that because we're touching on so many things, touching on life, breaking things down, sharing our opinion, and, helping move things along in a positive spiritual way and helping us gain some knowledge, understanding, and loving. You know what I mean? Just share the love. That's all you really got to do. But just gaining some understanding and some perspective that's different from your own. So, girl, I'm going to say it again. Sister Chat is doing all that.
So remember, and that goes, and that we seriously mean this. You can always reach us via the chat. You can go to our message board and send us in a message. Even if you're in our group, you never know what you can be for somebody.
Or who you're affecting.
And I'll never forget that someone came to the Sister Chat a couple of weeks ago, and they had a genuine question. And they were really scared and hurt. And we as sisters were able to come around and leave them a message of inspiration to know, because they asked genuinely, what do I do? And I felt good being able to let them know and know that there was other sisters out there that was also reaching out to her to let her know.
Right.
So yes, we do have a group called the Sister Chat group, and you can all come in and join in and talk to us. Or you can email us. You can contact us at the .com. You can even put it in the chat or privately message us and tell us, look, can you talk about this? Or can you call this person? Or can you get that person? Because all of these people, it's not about us. It's all about their stories.
Yeah.
And why are their stories important? Because their stories will help you tell yours.
Yes. And it also helps you to see how like-minded we truly are. You know, how our goals and what we want in life is truly the same on the general. You know what I mean? Your specifics may be different, but we all want to be happy. We all want, positive, and we all want to be able to take care of our families. We all want our children to be healthy. We all want to be healthy.
Yep.
So there's a lot of generals in there. But we're also talking specifics. And you really get that from people's individual stories.
Yeah. And guess what, y'all? We may not do the hopscotch the same way, but we all hopping. So however we need to hop together to get you to hop to get to your game. Look,
okay, grasshopper.
You may not go 1, 2, 3. You may go 1, 5, 6. Look. Meaning we don't all do our stories may all sound the same, but we just walk in differently.
Yeah.
And whichever way we can be there for you, we're gonna know and let you know that we're gonna be here for you, even when you think we're not here for you. Time after time.
Time after time.
So listen, it's not that you can't wear your crown, my sister, my brother. You can't wear your ring.
Nope.
It may even fall, flip. You may even misplace it for a day or two. But guess what? You're still worthy of wearing it.
You're still
all
worthy.
You need to do.
All you got to do.
Put it on.
Put it on.
And adjust it a little bit.
And adjust it a little bit.
And while you're adjusting it, remember this. And thank Marion Meadows for it. All right?
A little bit. Yes.
And remember, this is how we feel about you. So download it. And every time you play it, you can think about the sisters. Because we are going to be thinking about you. And this is why.
It's the platform.
Don't you cry.
I ain't crying.
I am.
I ain't trying to cry. I got these eyelashes on.
I love you, girl.
I love you more.
Lying in my bed, I hear a clock tick, and I think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion, just nothing new. Flashback on nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Time after sometimes you picture me, but I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, but I can't hear a word you say. Say, go slow. I fall behind, and the second hand of you can go, and you will find me. You will find me. Time. If you wanna catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. So you can look, and you will find me. Time after time. I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, baby girl. See you next time.
See you next time.
Mwah.